2019. Yes. What'd you say?
Are you twinning with Miss Shawn?
Yeah, I'm twinning with Miss Shawn. I think Miss Smith, and I think who else? There might be some other math teachers too. I don't know. Good times. All right. Exponents, powers of negative numbers, roots, and evaluation of powers. All right. So 5 to the 7th, you guys, is the same as 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. So what do we do with our exponents here to write it like this? You add them, okay? So right here, anytime you're multiplying a bunch of x's, it's always however many there are, you're adding them all up to get that n, okay? It's just kind of a rule of exponents. So let's try -2 squared. So the parentheses totally matter, okay? Be careful with the parentheses. This is actually -2 times -2, which is what? Good job. +4. All right, now different answer for this one. There are no parentheses, so the only thing that is getting squared is the 2. What's the answer to this one? Exactly. All right, so only square the 2, keep the negative in front. All right, let's put it all together. -3 cubed minus -2 squared minus 2 squared. All right, so the negative in front, you guys, you don't need to think about whether or not it's cubing because the negative is just going to stay there because it's not in parentheses. So 3 to the 3rd is 3 times 3 times 3, which is? Good job. Okay, now I have this minus sign, and then I am squaring the negative. Now, you do not make this positive. Exponents go first, okay? So don't cross those out like we would if there was no exponent, okay? -2 squared is what? +4 when we have the parentheses, and then this negative just stays in front. All right, and then this 2 squared is 4, and the negative stays in front, so it's -4. So that would be -35, all on team negative, add to make a bigger negative. Okay. All right, -3, all squared in parentheses. Is this answer positive or negative, everybody? Good. It is in parentheses, so you're doing -3 times -3, which is +9. All right, now I have -3 cubed. Okay, it is in parentheses, but that does not automatically make it positive, right? We got to think about how many negatives we actually have. We're doing -3 times -3 times -3. So what is that going to be? Yes, -27, all right? Negative times a negative times a negative is a negative. All right, -3 to the 4th. So this time I'm doing a negative times a negative times a negative times a negative, which is a positive. And then you would do the 3 times 3 times 3. Okay, 4 times is 81. All right. And now what if I have a -3 to the 4th? Don't just cross those off. Exponents come first, okay? So you want to think in your head, first I need to do this, which we just said was equal to +81. And then the negative in front stays. All right, so order of operations, make sure you do the exponent piece first, then figure out the negative in front and what that does, okay? Okay, some lovely vocab for you. All right, so if I have the 4th root of 81, I'm going to see, no, I'm not. All right, oh, maybe. Inside's called the radicand. All right, and this outside number, this 4 right here, is called the index. So square roots are called radicals. I don't know if you remember that. Okay, square roots are called radicals. So we have the radicand, the number inside, and then the 4th root. So for this one, you don't see the index, but it's just a given 2 whenever it's just normal square root of 9. Okay, so the square root of 9 is 3. All right, and actually the 4th root of 81, if you're like, how do I do that? Well, 81 is 9 times 9, and then 9 is 3 times 3, right? So 81 is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. So we can take the 4th root of 81, and it's 3, okay? All right, the cube root of 27. So you would want to break down 27. It's 9 times 3. And then 9 is 3 times 3. So 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. So you can take the cube root of 27, because there are 3 of them there, and it is 3. And the 5th root of 243. What goes into 243? 3. Let's see. 3 goes into 24, 8, and 3 goes into 3 one time. So there's 3 times 81. Okay. And then 81 is 9 times 9. And then this one is 3 times 3, and this one is 3 times 3. So 243 is actually 3 to the 5th power, right? And so we can take the 5th root of 243, and it is 3. Okay. Let's learn some of these. All right. 1 squared is 1, 1 cubed is 1, 1 to the 4th is 1. So if you take the 4th root of any of these, you get 1, or the 3rd root, or the square root, you get 1, okay? All right, now let's do 2. What's 2 squared? All right, what's 2 cubed? 8. What's 2 to the 4th? Okay, 16. All right, now let's do 3 squared is? Okay, 3 cubed is? 3 to the 4th is? Okay, let's do 4 squared is? 4 cubed is? I think it's 64. And 16 times 16. Yeah, 256. All right, now let's do our 5s. What's 5 squared? All right, 5 cubed, 125. And 5 to the 4th is 25 to 25. Good job. You probably only need to know like those through the cubes and through the 4th roots, okay? If you just know these 5 through cubes and 4th roots, you'll be good to go, because they might ask you the 4th root of this. What's the 4th root of this? Yeah, it's 5. Right. What's the 4th root of this? 4. What's the 4th root of that? 3. Okay. Good, good, good. So like we could do all the 4th roots of those, or these ones all have cube roots, right? And you might want to memorize these, all right? Like the 3rd root of 64 is 4, or that 4 cubed is 64. You'll see it a lot in the Saxon books, all right? So you might want to know those. And then as far as the squares go, we usually go like a little bit higher. So like this would be 36, okay? 7 squared is 49. 8 squared is 64. 9 squared is 81. 10 squared is 100. 6, 7, 8. We don't really do the cubes much further than 5, so I'm not going to. All right. Negative radicands. Okay. The number under the house is negative. Okay. That's a negative radicand. You're allowed to take the cube root or the 5th root or the 7th root or any odd root of a negative radicand. Why? Because negative 27 is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, right? A negative times a negative times a negative is a negative. So I can take the cube root of this and actually get negative 3. Everybody agree? All right. Can I take the square root? This is square root of a negative number. No, because right here, this has to be 4 times negative 4, right? There's not 2 of the same number, so I cannot take a square root of a negative. We will get there in Algebra 2. These are called imaginary numbers. For now, you're just like, nope, no solution, cannot do, okay? So any odd root of a negative, you are good to go, okay? Yay, and you get a negative answer. Any even is no real solution, no real answer for now, okay? You can say no solution for now. Let's try this lovely problemo. Negative 3 cubed. Everyone, what's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3? Great job. All right, and now I'm doing the cube root of negative 27. What does that equal to? Negative 3. If you want to put plus a negative, you can, but I like to just put minus 3. All right, so this would be negative 30. Yep, let's try another one. All right, I have negative 3 squared. Notice no parentheses. That is super important, right? So what is negative 3 squared with no parentheses? Good. Negative 9. You're only squaring the 3, and the negative just hangs out in the front, okay? Now I have a minus. What is the cube root of negative 8? Good job. We can take the cube root of a negative, right? Because negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is negative 8. Boom. And then this one is the square root of 16. We can do that. That's right. It is minus 4 because the minus is on the outside. All right, this chops goes to a positive. So I have negative 9 plus 2, which is negative 7, minus 4, which is negative 11. Oh, wow, we're still teaching. All right, here we go. X squared, z cubed, y. If x is negative 3, z is negative 2, and y is negative 2. So substitution, okay, I've got the x. I'm going to plug in negative 3. Now, it's super important that you use parentheses on this, right? Because I have exponents, and it matters if you have parentheses. So when you're plugging it in, use parentheses. Anytime you substitute, it automatically implies parentheses, okay? Z is negative 2, and that guy is cubed. Y is negative 2. All right, exponents goes first in order of operations. Everyone, what's negative 3 squared? It is positive 9. I would keep my parentheses to imply that you are multiplying. What's negative 2 cubed? Negative 8. Keep your parentheses because you still got to multiply these. And then times negative 2. 9 times 8 is 72 times 2. What is that? 144. Okay, and then it's a negative times a negative, so this would be a positive. All right, b squared minus 4ac. So b is negative 4. We're going to plug that in. All right, minus 4. A is negative 3. C is negative 5. Okay, parentheses first. Negative 4 squared is, yeah, positive 16. Then I have a negative times a negative times a negative, which is a negative. And then this would be 12 times 5, which is 60. Good. And 16 minus 60 is negative 44. All right. Okay, let's try some whiteboards.